Alrighty, so we're back, and this is going to be the trade recap for the 15th. So, the 15th of January, which was, I believe, Thursday. Yeah. So, first off, higher time frames, right? So, here, this is still Wednesday. This is basically where market closed. Let's see, another extra hour. So, or another 4 hour candle. Yeah. So, that's where market closed, and you'll see what a bounce, right? That's kind of what I had sent out into the Discord. Because look, higher time frames, we are bullish, right? Like I've been saying time and time again, we're bullish, we're in an uptrend, but that doesn't mean market keeps going up forever. That just means we go up, and at some point we're gonna get a retracement, a healthy one, to balance out these uh fair value gaps, basically fill the orders that never got filled, grab more liquidity, some would say, and just continue to push higher, right? So here we have the fib from the bottom of the move to the top of the move. We have these levels here, the 0.382, 0.5, and the 0.618. Those are basically levels of areas of interest where price could react off of. In this case, we have this 4 hour fair value gap that falls in line with the 0.618, which is just extra confluence that, oh, there's likely orders of like people that want to buy there that never got filled. We also have this fair value gap here that kind of, in a sense, got, raided, right? Because we got a candle close, but we never got a candle close below this. So it's like, this is your first like area of support, you could say. Then this is your second one, then that's your last one. If price falls below this, then that's when you're worried and you're like, okay, what's going on? What's price gonna do? Are we gonna go lower? Are we gonna reverse to the downside? Etc. etc. So that's the way we were. Let me see if I can share real quick. I want to show you guys the Discord I had. So yeah, so here we see, right? I had sent out, okay, I think I had sent out, yeah. So we had sent out basically the same thing. We pushed up. We had these fair value gaps here that we could test, and we were saying on the 14th, right, when market closed on Wednesday, SPY looks good to go back to all-time highs. We finally mitigated that fair value gap, and if we got the bounce at the 0.618 plus 4 hour fair value gap, then we're good. Because look, time and time again, this was before that. We made a move higher, fair value gap somewhere here on the daily, I think it was. We bounce off these levels and boom, higher. So, again, reiterated, made a move higher, bounce off these areas of interest, move higher, bounce off these areas of interest, move higher, and then expected the same thing. And what happened? Pre-market, we started pumping, right? So, let me actually go back and show you guys exactly how I saw the setup, right? So, looking at this, I'm like, okay, we're bullish, right? Boom. Let's see how market opens. So this is in the, yeah, so let me just let price play out. This is where we're gapping up, right? I'm like, okay, boom, we're bullish because we finally came to these areas of, these fair value gaps that needed to get filled still. And now we're pushing higher. So let's see. I know these recaps are a bit long, but just because I'm still getting used to it and I want to make sure that I explain myself, but if you, I might try to make them a bit shorter and just kind of straight to the point. But yeah, so boom, what happens? Pre-market, we gap up a little bit, we push higher. So what are we doing? We're just waiting, right? First 15 minutes of market open. Okay, not much of anything is going on. Let me actually mark out. Maybe we could, from this move down here all the way up here, maybe we could see a little rebalancing and come back down here, right? Because we did gap up. Let's also find out something else. Okay, did we leave any fair value gaps here when we made that move to the downside? We actually did. We have this 4 hour, and I'm gonna mark it as bearish fair value gap, right? So we're gonna do this 4 hour. bearish fair value gap. So that's an area of potential resistance. So just something to be looking out for. What happens? We kind of gap up right above it, so we're fine. We're fine. Nothing much is happening. It just seems like we inversed that fair value gap, right? We inversed it, and now we just came down. We're bouncing off of it, continue to go higher. So we're just being patient at this point and waiting for volume to present itself. Nothing much still. Okay. Okay, now we get this displacement, right? Basically, this fair value gap to the downside, meaning, there's a bit more sellers than buyers, but we still see volume is kind of choppy, right? Price is kind of choppy. So we'll just be patient, be patient. In this case, I didn't take this trade to the downside because we are in an overall uptrend, right? Like I said, look at this. The higher time frame points to uptrend because we bounced, right? We finally bounced off of those 4-hour value gaps. We made this move higher. Now, obviously, we gapped up, so we're now kind of slowing down because price already moved, right? So it's just slowing down. Here, though, I'm like, okay, this fair value gap to the downside is not, it's not a like high conviction setup for me, just because I don't think that price wants to continue going lower, right? Especially after that higher time frame move like I showed earlier. So I'm waiting. Boom, we inverse this. What do I want to do? Enter full positions as soon as we tap back into this 3-minute inverse for value gap, right? So 3-minute IFVG inverse for value gap. And I want to take calls here, right? And I want to target levels. What levels? Well, for levels, you always want to go into the higher time frames and just kind of see what price has reacted off of before. In this case, I'm like, okay, there's a level here, there's a level here, there's a level, you could say basically all the way up here. And then these are kind of a little bit more iffy, if you want to call it. So I would legit just target this first one. Why? We are at all-time highs, so you never know if we're going to continue going higher or not. So you could always for sure target just the levels that were created that same day, or you could target levels up here, like I said, higher time frames. So if anything, my risk to reward would have been like something like this. And let's see. Okay, we got this respect, this like we tap back in here, right? And we bounced. We respected it not once but twice. So price tells us we're gonna go higher. So my initial take profit was something like that. And I personally ended up averaging in, right? So let me show you how. I averaged in, I got in somewhere here, like right here for one contract, then I added like another one up here, then another one or a couple more down here. So my average cost was somewhere here. So by the time I basically sold up here, I was break even. And I didn't really like it because look at this. We were like we were kind of chopping around. It was pretty slow. Look at the volume right here. The volume right here is pretty slow, right? It's nothing good in my opinion. So I ended up getting out for basically break even. But I alerted, right, saying, okay, the idea is, let me show it again. The idea is that, you wait, you wait for price to come back down here. So I said, okay, waiting for an entry. Boom, we get that entry. Now you're in. Then you just wait for a higher day to take some profits. And then you target the full, your full take profit. So that's, that should have been the move. But I just didn't like it personally. So I just got out of break even. And what happens? Slowly but surely, we're just making that choppiness move up, or that choppy move up, sorry. And let's see what happens. You see this just choppiness. Like, yeah, price pushed up a bit, took forever, then price came back down, and now we're just chopping around. So that was basically it. So I was more than okay with taking a break even, or like maybe $10 profit or whatever, just because the way price was moving. Yeah, hope that helps. And I'm gonna record this last one that I took on Friday. So yeah, let me know if that helps. Hope you guys enjoy these. But yeah.